Oscar Willis here for the MacLife.com, standing alongside ESPN's Ariel Helwani. Ariel, thank you very much for joining me. When this fight was first announced, there was a bit of sort of disgruntled reaction from the fans. But I think you and I both felt that, why not? Conor needs a fight to come back and look great in. In terms of rankings, this is the one that suits. And why not make this fight? Would you agree?
Absolutely, but first let me say, what about my guy Oscar Willis doing tremendous work for the MacLife? I mean, omnipresent leading up to this fight. Well done, my friend.
Thank you very much. Very kind words from a man I respect very much.
Thank you.
Mutual backslapping over now.
Absolutely, yes. We could just have this mutual admiration society, quite like the press conference on Wednesday.
Well done.
Your suit was nice. No, your suit was nice. It was great. It was good fun. It was different. It was lighthearted. Back to the original question, I had no problem with this fight because I felt like, all right, Conor's been out since 2018. He hasn't won since 2016. Cerrone's a formidable foe, winningest fighter in UFC history. It's sellable. The idea that he was going to come back and fight for the belt off the bat or fight a top contender to me makes no sense because from a business perspective, Conor versus anyone makes money. So why not just let's ease our way into things? And again, I'm not trying to say Cerrone's a tune-up fight or that he's a can or a scrub, but lost his last two, maybe on the downside of his career. It's a nice win. And then after this one, now we start talking about the big fight. So I thought it made all the sense in the world. There was the backstory back in 2015, and here we are. And once fight week began, really no one's talking about the opponent anymore because the story really is about the return of Conor.
You mentioned just then about the admiration the two were sharing with each other at the press conference. Do you think because of that maybe this fight is lacking a little bit of spark, or do you think actually this is the perfect sort of interaction Conor needs to be having right now?
Perfect. I think he's done a great job this week, and I'm not trying to suggest that this is in any way, shape, or form inauthentic or he's not being genuine. I think he's actually being as real as it gets, as he continues to say the slogan of the UFC. To me, he seems like a guy who's really happy to be here, who maybe at one point thought, I had nothing, and then I had everything, and I was on the verge of losing everything. I was starting to become perhaps the stereotype of the fighter who got it all and was about to lose it all, and he seems like he has this renewed, appreciation for the process, the build-up. I'm sure not having to cut weight helps a little bit. You're in better spirits, but he just seems happy to be here, and at the end of the day, it seems like he has respect for Donald Cerrone. And that's been kind of a breath of fresh air. You know, the last few Conor fights, whether it was leading up to Mayweather, leading up to Khabib, and even before that, at times it got a little heavy, right? It got a little ugly. It got a little too controversial. This time it's nice to, see him in action, see him on the stage. He's still delivering the quotes, but it's not that animosity and that venom, as he said, that we've seen in the past. And I think that most people were maybe trying to see whether or not he would be on his best behavior. Right. And thus far, he has been on his best behavior.
I mean, Peter might not like it, but it was fun seeing the two of them interact over the coat and stuff like that.
I don't condone that type of stuff, but yes, I couldn't believe it. Python skin suit seems to me at least incredibly uncomfortable, but I will say Donald was at least looking good on the stage. Whether or not it was real, I don't know, but it was a nice
look. Casting aspersions now, Helwani. I mean, I'm sure it was real.
Hey, listen, I hope it wasn't. How about that? How about that hot take? I hope it wasn't.
There you go. Okay, moving on from that. It was also interesting to me that while Conor and Cerrone have this respect, Conor also isn't biting on anyone else's name that's thrown at him. You mean Justin Gaethje sort of said, "Oh yeah, he'll get it eventually," and Jorge, he's not important. Usman, I'd be interested in, but he's really not going at anyone. Do you think that is a tactical decision by him to let people realize that he's not just an angry guy, or do you think perhaps this is, as you said in your interview with him, he's a new third stage Zen Conor now?
Yeah. I would say what is old is new again, because I watched the post-fight press conference recently from his UFC debut, April 6, 2013, UFC on Fuel TV, Stockholm, Sweden, and I wanted to see what he was saying and what his thought process was and what he was thinking. And I swear, you watch that press conference, it's a lot of the same things that he is saying right now. Number one, someone asked him, who do you want next? I don't care. Line him up. Number two, someone said, how active do you want to be? When do you want to return? I want to be active because when I'm not active, I lose focus. I start to drift. What's been the theme here? I want to be active. I want to fight 3-4 times. I need to get back on track because when I'm not on track, when I'm not training, when I'm not fighting, I start to drift. I start to lose focus. So really, we can talk all day long about him being new, but in reality, he's almost just going back to the basics, right? Going back to the old Conor in a simpler way. And I love the symbolism of bringing Phil Sutcliffe and his team of Kremlin Boxing Club there. I think it's a nice story, but I don't think it's just a story, right? I mean, this guy's a 2-time Olympian, and I saw them working together. This guy knows his stuff, and I watched a little bit of the clips. Of course, I'm not there every day, but I think that's a nice, interesting wrinkle to this return as well. So again, I want to make clear, I don't think any of this is inauthentic or, him just kind of playing a part. I think we all want Conor to be something else, always. When he's bad, we want him to be good. When he's good, we want him to be bad. You know what I mean? Just, he is who he is. And it's been an interesting ride up until this fight, and I'm curious to see how it all plays out on Saturday.
Final thing from me. Is there anything the public, especially the American public, love more than a redemption story? And could that be this?
It could very well. I mean, we have to see how the fight goes. If it's a dominant victory, and then he says something witty on the microphone, yeah, I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, I think the fact that we're seeing almost 200 credentialed media here. I was told that it's around 177 or so. 229 had 200 or so, so it's just a notch below. But I think that shows that people are really interested in this story, right? And I think it's because of his star power. I think they want to see if he's going to come back. I think they want to see if he's going to be able to turn back the clock and be his old self, all that stuff and more. And Americans do like that sort of thing, but I don't think it's an American thing. I mean, I'm Canadian, and I'm interested in that story, and you're English, and I think you're interested in the story as well. I think everyone's interested in seeing if the very best can get back after a tumultuous year, to put it mildly, right? So I think that's at stake, and then I think we all then want to see, okay, what does he say on the microphone after? Where does he go from here?
Ariel Helwani, thank you very much.